What up, everyone? You guys voted, and we got the Ike Quartey versus Oscar De La Hoya fight. I'm super excited about this fight because this is one of the fights I remember watching a couple years ago, and this was a really, really good fight. Controversial because once again, people think Quartey won the fight. Some people say De La Hoya won the fight. So if you don't know, De La Hoya would win a split decision, I believe. But we'll break it down and see who we thought or who I thought won the fight and explain why as we go on. But like always, guys, write score the round with me, score the fight, and then at the end, let me know in the comments below who you scored it, who you had winning, and why. And also, before I forget, guys, also make sure you guys are following me on Instagram because what I normally do is I put up like fights. I'll hear people out. I'll put a question who wants the next controversial fight. I'll have you guys put it on your list, and then what I do is have a so for example, if you say Felix Trinidad versus De La Hoya, break that fight down, and I'll put it up against in a poll against let's say you guys pick another fight, Bernard Hopkins and Joe Calzaghe. Whoever wins that poll, I normally go with that. This is what happened. Same thing with this one, and that's how we got it. But what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be taking every single fight that you guys ask for and request, and I'll be putting in a poll. So how I'm going to be doing it is, let's say, Bernard Hopkins and Joe Calzaghe. Do you want me to score this fight, break this fight down? Yes or no? And then I'll go to in my stories on my Instagram. Then I'll go to trying to think of another off the top of my head, another controversial fight. I will just say Canelo Triple G 2. I know I already did, but just to help me right now. But you see what I'm saying? And I'll just keep listing fights and fights and fights. And whatever fight has the most votes and the highest percentage for that, I'm gonna do it from now on. That's how I'm gonna be doing it. Okay, so make sure you guys follow me. So you, when I post it on my story, you guys can be voting, and then more and more you can get the fights you want broken down from me. But just that's all I wanted to let you guys know. But without any more distractions or anything, let's hop into this fight and let's get ready. Let's hop into round number one. All right, let's go to round number one. Quartey coming out, starting off strong, coming out with a jab hook. He's trying to start fast, popping that jab. De La Hoya is bouncing around, staying light on his feet, moving. De La Hoya catching the jabs. Quartey coming in with some big hooks. You can see Quartey. If you know Quartey, he loves and has a strong jab. He loves to using that jab. De La Hoya try to counter over the top. De La Hoya's catching that jab. See, De La Hoya's right now using this first round, trying to see what Quartey's doing, what he's coming out with. Quartey's pushing the action, trying to be aggressive, set the tone, set the pace. Good counter jab from De La Hoya. Good jab from De La Hoya. Starting off. Quartey feinting a little bit more. De La Hoya moving around using his feet. De La Hoya working that jab. Quartey trying to counter with his hook. De La Hoya letting his left hook go. De La Hoya has a good left hook. Good defense from Quartey, but De La Hoya trying to let his hands go as well. Good jab from Quartey. Both guys working their jabs now. Good. Quartey trying to counter over De La Hoya's jab with his right hand. Good counter jab from De La Hoya. De La Hoya has a good jab when he uses it, so I think he should be trying to use it more with Quartey to stop Quartey from jabbing so much. Quartey trying to jump in with a right hand. De La Hoya just keeping his range. He's a taller fighter just by a little bit. Good. De La Hoya trying to work the body, but good defense from Quartey. Good jab from both guys. De La Hoya working that jab. Quartey working that jab. De La Hoya using his footwork. Make sure he stays in the middle of the ring, staying away from the ropes. Good left hook from Quartey. De La Hoya shouldn't be reaching out trying to catch every time the jab, because Quartey, you see he's looking around to come around that right hand with the left hook. Good work from De La Hoya, but good defense from Quartey. Good body shot. That right hook to the body landed. Good flurry from De La Hoya, but Quartey was blocking and stepped out of range. Quartey trying to come over the top. De La Hoya, good. De La Hoya's working that body, but Quartey's blocking it. De La Hoya's trying to keep that space, keep that distance, because he doesn't want Quartey getting close to him. Good jabs from Quartey. So, before I go into it, I said I gave that round 10-9 Quartey. That was a real close round, guys. There wasn't much happening. Like, you could see both guys were trying to, feel. Quartey came out aggressive, but then when De La Hoya started implementing his jab, and you see Quartey was backing up a little bit, then trying to De La Hoya was trying to counter with the right hand, and Quartey started trying to go around with that hook. I just felt like Quartey landed a little bit better jabs. I liked his jabs better, and some of his left hooks were landing. De La Hoya was flooring, letting his hands go a little bit more, especially when he started getting comfortable in the middle of the round, even towards the end. But if you notice, Quartey has solid defense, so he was blocking and catching a lot of it. So yes, De La Hoya had the activity, but I liked Quartey's precision, and a little bit I felt he was a little bit more effective with his punching. But close round. I can see some people giving it to De La Hoya based on activity, but I don't just go for the activity. I want to see who's landing and who's effective with the punches that they're landing. But if I was in De La Hoya's corner, I would keep telling De La Hoya, look, he's gonna jab a lot. Try to jab with him and try to even catch, because you're catching. You see De La Hoya, he was catching a lot, and he's trying to catch a little too much, because there was one point where he tried to catch it and Quartey came around with the hook. But I would tell him, like, as you jab and catch at the same time with him. Okay, don't let him, because Quartey likes to jab a lot and throw strong, hard jabs. So just catch that. Catch, boom, boom, and use your jab. De La Hoya has a good jab when he uses it. So I would tell him, implement your jab and let your hands go a little bit more, but do combos. Don't just settle for one shot. He's trying to block. So throw a couple shots and then back on that jab. Keep moving. Keep using your leg work. Okay? And I just say, just keep it like that, and then as the fight goes on, we'll break them down a little bit more and more. If I was in Quartey's corner, I would say, hey, listen, good defense, but we need you working off that, off the defense. We can't let someone flurry, even though we're blocking everything. We don't want to leave an impression's mind like they're doing work. So listen, good jab, keep working your jab, but the moment he flurries, either you step out of range and then come back in, or you stay there, block, and then come back with your own combos. And preferably, I would say, counter him with the jab. It may seem like most people say right hand, left hook, but Quartey has a strong jab and he loves the jab. So I would actually block, pop in a hard jab, then shoot whatever combo you want, because Quartey's jab that's one thing. If you know anything about Ike Quartey, everyone says it, strong jab. So I would say implement your strong jab and then counter with whatever you want after that. But let's pop in round number 2 and see how that goes. Round number 2. Quartey, you see he's jumping in with that strong hook. De La Hoya trying to counter with his hook. Good defense. I think that's what De La Hoya should do. Block and use his jab. Keep Quartey at a distance. Don't let him get close. Good jab to the body from Quartey. So you can see De La Hoya he's got that right hand open, ready to catch his jab, but I think De La Hoya should counter with his own jab. He's catching it, just counter back. Make Quartey realize, like, every time he uses that jab, he's got to worry about something coming back. Like, De La Hoya is using good footwork, keeping his distance, not letting Quartey get away. And that's smart, but I think he should be trying to implement punches. Quartey is doing good jabbing, but I think Quartey should double that jab and start shooting hooks or the 2 off that. Don't just jump in with that hook, because you see De La Hoya is looking for his left hook now. See how De La Hoya caught him with the jab? That's what De La Hoya should do more of. So De La Hoya tried to counter, and you can see Quartey was trying to implement a right hand off that jab. Good defense from Quartey. De La Hoya's letting his hands go, working that jab. Good jab from De La Hoya. Quartey's trying to slip and use his head movement to slide his jabs in now. De La Hoya, one thing I like that De La Hoya is doing is he's using his feet and staying away from the ropes, but he's also keeping that distance. You see how Quartey tried to throw that right hand? He's using his feet to keep that distance. De La Hoya's a little bit taller with longer reach, and he's using his footwork to keep Quartey from getting on the inside. I think Quartey should be doubling up that jab. Good right hand from De La Hoya. See, Quartey did good using his feet too, getting out of range from De La Hoya when he's throwing combos. And De La Hoya trying to come around with that hook. Good jab to the body from Quartey. Quartey's getting, he likes jumping in a lot. So De La Hoya, I think, should start with a good jab from both guys. De La Hoya jabbed to the body, and Quartey caught him when he came back up. I think both guys should be incorporating double jabs, and De La Hoya should keep his left hook ready for when Quartey comes jumping in. Catch him coming in with that check hook. De La Hoya trying to work that jab, doubling it, head body. I like the change up. De La Hoya can't stay there. Quartey's going to catch him like that. De La Hoya. Good flurry from De La Hoya, but good defense from Quartey. Both guys trying to flurry back. Both guys are good. Left hook from Quartey. Good round. I gave that one 10-9 Quartey. I'm liking Quartey's jabs, how he's landing strong jabs, and then he's implementing strong shots, like especially towards the end he caught De La Hoya with a good strong hook. De La Hoya, you can see he's just trying to flurry, just trying to keep his distance and then just try to flurry in spots and everything. So I think if I was in De La Hoya's corner, this is what I would be telling him. I'm loving the footwork. I would tell De La Hoya, I'm loving the footwork. I love how you keeping him at range. The one time that you got, or there was a few times you got caught, but there was one time I didn't like that he got caught, was when he stood still. Quartey came forward, De La Hoya tried ducking and got caught. I'll tell De La Hoya, keep using your feet, keep him at bay, make this fight harder. This fight is close. There's no one really, I mean, anyone could be saying whoever's winning. I can see people making a case for De La Hoya. Side note. I can see people making a case for De La Hoya. Oh, he's letting his hands go. Look. Like it's that kind of fight. Both guys are not landing a lot. Both guys are stepping out of range or blocking a lot of shots. So it's a hard fight in the sense that they're not landing much. So it's like, what do you pick from? Do you like Quartey's power? Do you like him being the aggressor? Do you like De La Hoya's boxing? Do you like his shoe shining, his flurries? See, it's that type of fight. So I would tell De La Hoya, don't stay there. Now I'm going back as De La Hoya's trainer. Don't stay there. Don't duck right there, because you give him confidence. But not only that, he catches you. Use your footwork. Let him miss. Now I would say Quartey's he's throwing only one jab, one hard jab. This is what I tell De La Hoya. Catch his jab. Throw your left hook, because De La Hoya has a good left hook. So let's catch him. Catch, check hook. Catch, check hook. No more jabbing. Just catch, check hook, because De La Hoya has a nice crisp jab. Let's start making Quartey not want to throw that jab. Okay? And then another thing I would tell De La Hoya is, good, I like how you're jabbing up and down, mixing it up, but shoot off that. Don't just stay there doing nothing, just doing this. No, try to shoot combos, boom, and then back out, working that jab. Like I said, like how De La Hoya was doing a few times. She was just here, nothing fast, just constantly back on that jab, keeping your distance, keeping them at bay, where it makes Quartey, see, the reason for that is because it's going to make Quartey want to jump in more. Guess what? You're going to start catching him with that hook, and then guess what? You can even double up. De La Hoya can double and triple up his hooks. He's done that in fights, and he's done it very well. So I was telling De La Hoya, look, that's what I want you to do. Comes in, boom, check hook. Work your jab, shoot your shot, step out. Let him get anxious. Let his over-aggressiveness be his downfall, and we just counter and catch him. Now, if I was in Quartey's, I would tell him, hey, Quartey, you're just trying to come in with one jab every time. Double those jabs up. Not every jab has to be hard. Mix it up. Hard jab, then a quick jab, then a hard jab. Start mixing your punches in, but then shoot combos. It doesn't have to be a 6-piece combo. A jab, 1-2, double jab, right hand. Just start letting your hands go, because all he's doing is one punch, jumping in for one hook. And he's catching De La Hoya in spots, but he'd be more effective if you let his hands go. That's what I tell Quartey. Listen, De La Hoya is using his feet to keep him back. Double your jab, help you double, triple, get you closer in range where you can catch him in the inside. But you try and do one, De La Hoya is just going to step back. Guess what? Now you got to try to jump in. Use your punches, use your double jab, use your 2 hard jabs to get inside, and then work off that. Go to the body, go to the head. Like, mix it up. Don't just try to jump one punch, one jab, One jab. Let me jump in with this one hook. I'll tell him, mix it up, mix it up. But let's hop in round number 3 and see how it goes. Quartey coming out aggressive. De La Hoya caught him with a jab. I like that De La Hoya is bouncing around. His toes moving, keeping that distance. Ike Quartey's working that jab. He should double that jab. Get him on the inside because De La Hoya is moving. And it's small, subtle steps that I like that De La Hoya is doing. Not in big steps, small steps. Good defense from De La Hoya and using his feet, getting out of range. Quartey should be doubling that jab, trying to work a little bit more combos. Good jab from De La Hoya. De La Hoya. Same thing with De La Hoya. He shouldn't be just depending on one jab. He should be doubling up. Yeah, see, double, triple. Even though it didn't land, see, it was making Quartey think and catch him off balance. Good flurry from De La Hoya. Good defense from Quartey, though. Remember, if De La Hoya see Quartey hand shoot up, he should immediately attack that body right away. Take advantage. Good defense and footwork from De La Hoya. De La Hoya bouncing around. Quartey trying to work that jab. De La Hoya should catch and shoot his jab or catch and shoot his hook. Especially when Quartey, you see him reaching with that right glove, he should be trying to tap with his jab and then come around with a good fast left hook. See, he was trying, but that left hook, but I think he should be standing up, not trying to duck and throwing it. There, see, like that left hook right hand, that was better. See, the Quartey better be careful trying to pull straight back like that. Good right hand from De La Hoya. Because De La Hoya, good. Now, see, De La Hoya looks like he found something. Good left hook to the body. Quartey can't get reckless. And Quartey's got to change it up because De La Hoya's starting to figure him out, pick up his rhythm. De La Hoya's catching that jab. Pop his left hook or a jab off there. That should be De La Hoya's #1 weapon. Catch and shoot, catch and shoot. He's done it in spots. I think he should be doing it a little bit more. Make Quartey hesitant, not wanting to throw. Good. See, De La Hoya is catching it. He should need to pop off. Now, Quartey should be working his jab more. And don't just depend on pullback. Trust your defense. Slip or weave and then go attack the body. Good jab from De La Hoya. Good right hand from Quartey to the body. De La Hoya's catching, using his feet. Good right hand. De La Hoya can't smother himself. Good right hand from Quartey. Good left hook from Quartey. Good left hook. De La Hoya should not be anxious in trying to get into these exchanges with Quartey. So, matter of fact, hold on. Before alright. I gave that 10-9 De La Hoya. I liked it because I feel like De La Hoya started finding more punches. He caught him with a good left hook to the body. He was able to slip in more jabs, slip in some right hands here and there. De La Hoya seemed like he was figuring something out. Now, if I was De La Hoya, I would tell him, do not get in exchanges with Quartey. I don't care what you think, because you saw at the end, that could be a difference maker. That could be him giving up that round. I could see people saying they gave Quartey that because of the flurry at the end. He buzzed De La Hoya a little bit with the left hook, or at least made him stumble back and make it seem like he was hurt. I would tell De La Hoya, just keep boxing him, keep boxing him. Let your hands go on the outside. Keep him at bay. When you want to exchange with him like that, and he wants to exchange, he gets excited. He has a good sharp left hook. He's catching you. Don't do that. Stay on that jab. Work that jab up and down. Catch him. He's jabbing. Catch. Shoot your jab. Catch. Hook. I prefer catch hook because De La Hoya has a great left hook, and he should be doubling that left hook as well. I would tell him, listen, there's no need to exchange. He's the shorter fighter. He's the guy with the tight defense that wants to get inside close. Don't help him out by attacking with him. No, use your legs, use your feet. You're doing good. One thing, even if I'm not giving De La Hoya the rounds, some of the rounds, I still like De La Hoya's footwork. He's doing very good with stepping out of range. Small steps. Small steps. Side note, this is exactly how I think De La Hoya should have been fighting Felix Trinidad. When you guys heard me kept saying, oh, he shouldn't be sliding so much. Just see small steps. Watch De La Hoya's footwork. How he just steps out of range just a little bit. Steps back just a little bit. Steps to the left. Steps to the right. See, that's what I was talking about. But coming back to this fight, is you're doing good footwork. You're keeping that space and that distance. Don't engage with him. Let him him come to you. Let him be the aggressive, and we use his aggressiveness against him. So that's what I would tell De La Hoya. Quartey, I would tell Quartey, listen, don't get lazy. Don't keep doing the same thing. You're just one jab. Change it up. Feint, work off your feint. Feint, strong jab. Double hard jabs. Mix it up and then attack De La Hoya's body. Attack his body, because what De La Hoya is doing good is he's staying low. He's keeping his chin. If you notice, look at his shoulders. They're here. So he's letting the shoulders, his chin is being protected by his shoulders. So here, I would say aim a lot of straight shots here, but go to the body, because if anything, De La Hoya can duck and weave, but if he ducks and you throw a body shot, either you're going to catch him in the chin or catch him in the body. So aim, throw a couple hard jabs, and then rip a straight right hand to the body. There was a few times throughout this fight he's landed straight right hands to the body, but I would tell Quartey, if you get done with throwing that right hand, stay low, because there was one time where he pulled back, De La Hoya threw a hook, he had to lean back to not get caught. And if he does it slow and De La Hoya catches him, times him just right, he can catch him and drop him. So I would tell Quartey, don't pull straight back, stay low, and then slide out and then come back up. Or if you get done with the body, come back up top to the head, rip a left hook, jab, whatever, do something. But this is what I was telling. I would tell both guys, let's hop in round number 4 and see how it goes. Round number 3 or 4, sorry. Quartey coming out being aggressive. De La Hoya is using his feet. Good jabs coming from De La Hoya, but catch good left hook. Quartey tried to go to body, and De La Hoya saw it, caught him with a hook. I don't think De La Hoya should stay there. Just keep implementing what he's doing. Small steps, footwork, side to side. See Quartey trying to mix it up now. He's trying to instead of keeping both hands by his chin, he was making his left arm try to be a little bit longer out there. De La Hoya shouldn't stay still. He should just keep moving, stepping, and off those steps start punching. Good catch, but he's catching. De La Hoya is catching a lot. He should catch and jab or catch or hook. He shouldn't just catch and let Quartey think, okay, he won't do nothing. Make him rethink, oh, if he catches, he's going to counter me with something. You can see both guys, before while I was talking, were trying to implement their jabs. Quartey's pulling back. De La Hoya, if he sees Quartey pull back, he should jab, not to the head, but to the chest, and then come up with that right hand, catch him. Good jab to the body from De La Hoya. Good jab. He's trying to come up with the left hook. He needs to be a little bit crisper with that left hook coming up. Quartey's changing his levels. Good jab, but De La Hoya caught it. Quartey's stepping out of range when De La Hoya was double jabbing. Good jab from Quartey. You can see De La Hoya was trying to feint with his body low and then come up with a left hook. I think he should keep implementing, even though it didn't land. Good triple jab from De La Hoya. Even though it didn't land, he was pushing Quartey back. I think he should have shot a right hand to the body off that. Quartey trying to sneak in a right hand. Good jab from De La Hoya, catching Quartey. Good short right hook on this. Well, Quartey was moving. Good jab from Quartey. Good. I liked how De La Hoya was low and then started jabbing to the head. You can see both guys are starting to loosen up a little bit and let their hands go and feel they found some success with certain things. De La Hoya, see, he was stiffening up. I think that's why I say he should be moving, because the moment he stops, Quartey can see when he's about to throw something. So I think De La Hoya should just keep small movements like how he's doing and then shoot his shots. Yep. There you go. See? Good, De La Hoya. Good. Don't get reckless, though. So, I gave that 10-9 De La Hoya. I think De La Hoya, he knows he's boxing. I think he's just trying to make sure he steals the last 10 seconds of the round, whether he's winning or losing. I think that's what he's trying to do, because I'm watching each of the rounds as it passed by. It looks like De La Hoya wants to pick up and let his hands go, and he tries to be a little bit more aggressive. That round, especially the last 10 seconds, was better I would say De La Hoya, that's better, like how he had that energy, but he was still alert. He wasn't just coming in reckless like he did the last 2 rounds, especially the last round where he got caught with the hook because he just wanted to exchange. I would tell De La Hoya, listen, if you're going to become the aggressor and let your hands go, do it like that. Work, feint, move your head, and then off the head movement, shoot your shots, flurry off your shots. But I gave De La Hoya that round because I feel like he was throwing good jabs and he was finding little key successes with in Quartey's holes in Quartey's game and defense and stuff, and that's how he was able to land jabs, catch him with like a hook and a right hand. Most it's not a like it's not a high pace, but it's a good pace fight. But a lot of guys, they're not landing because they're stepping out of range. You can see like both guys are like moving, trying to keep it out. So it's like you gotta have a key eye for what's going on. But I felt like De La Hoya was more effective with his shots. I liked Quartey how he started trying to jab and use his movement and shoot, but I just didn't feel like he was landing enough to win him that round against De La Hoya. That's why, once again, if I was in Quartey's corner, I'd be like, listen, you got to change it up. You're just depending on 1-2 shots. Like, you got to let your hands go. Like, 3-4 shots. Let's start seeing the double jabs, right hand. You know, jab, head, body, then a right hand. Or body, head, right hand. Like, just change it up. Jab, hook, right hand. Like, Quartey likes that jab a lot. Then let's implement it into the combo. Like, just let your hands go. Don't just try. And you can see, like, Quartey's now trying because originally he started off here shooting. If you started noticing, he started bringing this right hand out and then started bringing it low, like, just to throw him off. I would tell him, Quartey's, I'm like, yeah, I like that you're doing this. Okay, then as you're moving it, punch off of it. Your hands down, punch off of it. Don't just stay here and don't just keep it out here, but don't do nothing. Like, make him fall asleep. I'm like, oh, he's just moving around. He's just playing around. Boom. Catch him. Like, boom. So he doesn't know if you're here, boom, you can shoot it off. You can be here, boom, you can shoot off your shots. So that's what I would tell him, like, you know, just change it up, mix it up. Don't just keep just here or here and do nothing. Like, mix it up. But De La Hoya, I'll tell him like how he did the last 10 seconds, keep doing that. But I would just tell him, keep working your jab and catch. He's catching. I'm like, De La Hoya, I would tell De La Hoya, you're catching his jabs. Good. But you're not making Quartey stop throwing the jab because you're not countering. Catch, hook, catch, jab. Make Quartey say, oh no, I don't want to jab no more, because every time if I miss or he catches it, he's going to counter me. You see what I'm saying? Start making him rethink his game plan, and then guess what? While he's thinking and not implementing his best weapon, that jab, you start boom, jab, boom. You start doing whatever you want. So that's some things I would do. But let's hop in round number 5 and see how that goes. All right, round number 5. Quartey coming out strong with the jab. De La Hoya moving around. De La Hoya trying to go jab for the body. Quartey's trying to throw him off, but I don't like that lean back from Quartey. Good jabs to the body from De La Hoya. Every time Quartey leans back, De La Hoya should be trying to pop that jab, chest and body, because the head's not there, but guess what? The body's there. Quartey trying to jump in with that left hook. If he's going to jump in with that left hook, he has to shoot that right hand right afterwards, because De La Hoya sees that hook coming. Just, all right, he blocks that hook, then boom, surprise him with the right hand. Good jab from De La Hoya. Quartey working his jab, but see, it's one jab at a time, He needs to be doubling. See, he tried, but it was a small pause in between. He needs to jab like right after, one after the other. Good catch from Quartey, trying to jab. De La Hoya trying to change it up, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, Quartey, depending on that lean back, so if he shoots that hook, he leans back, shoot a right hand to the head. I mean, to the body. De La Hoya, he should throw that hook and shoot the right hand to the body. Good jab from Quartey. Good catch from De La Hoya. He should catch and shoot right away. He waited a split second and then tried, and Quartey got out of range. De La Hoya landed a little left hook inside when they were in close, but he smothered himself. He should create some space. Don't get too anxious and smother yourself. Good jab from Quartey. Good jab from Quartey. That was a better jab. See, De La Hoya, he's catching the jabs. He should catch and shoot off that. But don't headhunt. Don't headhunt, because Quartey is using his feet or leaning back or both. That's why he should, if you're going to throw a shot, throw 1 or 2 to the head and immediately attack the body. Good. I liked how Quartey saw that was a good position Did small weave and recovered. That was a good recovery move from Quartey. Good hook from Quartey. De La Hoya tried slipping in and catching. Ooh, good right hand on the inside. Good right hand, left hook from Quartey. De La Hoya, he did jab off that, but he should double it too. Like, one to the head, Quartey pulls back, then shoots to the body right after that. Good jab from Quartey. Good defense from both guys. Time. So, for me, that was a 10-9 Quartey. Mostly, I gave Quartey that round just because of his jabs. Like, he was landing more jabs, and that was most of the punches that landed for him. That were good, solid jabs with a few hooks landing in. I think like 2-3 hooks that landed that I gave it to him. De La Hoya was more concerned with trying to hit to the head, and Quartey was just depending on that lean back, and that's where a lot of where De La Hoya was missing his flurries, because Quartey would lean back, and De La Hoya just kept trying to flurry. I think let me go Quartey, and then I'm going to go De La Hoya since Quartey won the round. All right, I'll tell Quartey, good, you won that round. You're working your jab beautifully. You're making a miss, but don't lean back because you're not in position to punch. You're making De La Hoya miss, but you're not working off that. I would tell Quartey, jab, and the moment you step out or you see him punching, use your feet, step out of range, or use your defense and then come up and counter, or use both. Use your head movement and your footwork to slide you out and then come right back, especially when De La Hoya just keeps trying to aim for your head and you're making a miss. Boom, counter with the left hook or a strong jab. Like, once again, I said Quartey loves doing that jab. Let's implement a hard jab right hand, a hard jab left hook, something. Let's get something, get combos. Make De La Hoya himself hesitant, not want to throw. Like, dang, if I get reckless or I try to flurry and let my hands go, I'm getting countered. Right now, De La Hoya doesn't care in the sense, because he knows that nothing's coming back. But when you start hitting a fighter, making him think, then he starts thinking twice. Like, I got to start doing things differently. I still got to change up my plan. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I tell Quartey, like, good, keep working your jab. Double that jab, though. Double, triple the jab. Don't just depend on one jab, one hard jab, one hard. You can see that De La Hoya is catching it, man. If I was De La Hoya, I'd be like, listen, De La Hoya, listen. Don't get. I know you want to let your hands go. I know you want to hit this guy, but listen. When you're catching, fire right off. You catching this whole fight. You're catching his shots, but you're doing nothing off of it. Or you'll catch, wait a second, and then try to counter. No, as soon as you catch, boom, right away catch. Especially that left hook. I'm like, yo, left hook is your money shot. Throw that left hook. Don't worry. Even if we don't land it, guess what? Let him fall asleep. Let him think that all you're doing is trying to catch him with the hook. Boom, we'll catch him. We'll make him run into that right hand. Or we'll double that hook. Or we'll hook and then go to the body. Something. But I would tell De La Hoya, preferably, I would say catch him with the hook. If he keeps on like blocking or weaving, guess what? We'll keep setting him up. And when the moment he falls asleep, boom, hit him with that right hand. But also, I would tell De La Hoya, listen, he's leaning back a lot. He's leaning back, especially when you flurry, he leans back a lot. Don't throw 3, 4, 5 shots to the head. Throw 1, 2 shots. Get him to do that lean back. Guess what? Then we'll rip the other 2, 3 shots to the body. Boom, boom, boom. Make him come down like this. And then he's going to go back on that tight defense. Guess what? That's when we let our hands go. Then we step around. And guess what? We just move out. We won the round. We're letting our hands go. We're becoming aggressive. We're landing good shots. Guess what? Now he's going to try to get all over aggressive. And guess what? We're back like how we were in the beginning. Just keeping him on the outside. Boom. Jab. Using your footwork. Boom. Boom. See? Just smart boxing. Just remember, boxing, I said, last fight in Tyson Fury, I think? It's like chess, a high-paced chess match. Just, you got to outsmart, think a couple moves ahead. That's all it is. Just fight smarter, not harder. Fight smarter. Just boom. That's what I would tell him. But let's hop into round number 6 and see how that goes. Round number 6. Ooh, De La Hoya trying to be aggressive now. Backing Quartey up with the double jab. Ooh, good left hook. Good left hook from De La Hoya. He started becoming aggressive. I liked how he stood with Quartey, and as Quartey was using that lead. Now, this is, some of you guys may not know, this is interesting. When there's a double knockdown, this is, you may not know how to score it. So let me just explain a couple different ways. So you can score it 10-10. I have seen some judges score it 10-10 when it's a double knockdown because both guys scored it. When I see a double knockdown, I treat it in the sense as the same around as I'll ignore the knockdown and I'll be like, who won the fight? And in that fight, that was Ike Quartey. That round, I felt Ike Quartey won the round, so I'm giving him 10-9 for Quartey. Now, if it was they both scored the knockdown and it was a close round, you didn't know who to give it to, then I would go 10-10 like that. But I just, like I said, when I see stuff like this, and let's just say I'm like, I'll exclude the knockdown and be like, who won the round? And if I find there was a clear winner, then I'm like, okay, that winner is 10-9 because they both knock each other down. So I don't give them that extra point like 10-8 or anything like that. But if it was a close round where I'm not sure, it's 10-10 since they both scored a knockdown. And I felt Quartey won that round because first De La Hoya became the aggressor, started off beautifully, changed it up, caught Quartey off guard, caught him with a nice hook that sent him down. He became a little aggressive, but then De La Hoya kind of stopped. He started backing up, letting Quartey get back in, and guess what? He got a little lazy. Like I said, he tried slipping, throwing it up, uppercut / jab, and dropped his hand. And guess what? Quartey caught him and dropped him. And I felt like that knockdown was a little bit more, like it hurt De La Hoya more than when De La Hoya dropped Quartey. I don't think Quartey was that hurt. I think De La Hoya was just a little bit more hurt in that exchange. So, and also he landed good combinations, strong and everything. So I think what hurt De La Hoya was he let Quartey get the confidence back. Like I'm saying, when you heard me like he should press the action, I'm not saying get reckless, just let your hands go, but like press a little bit like how he did in the beginning, just a little bit, the jab, boom, double jab, like just like that, work the feint, like especially when he had Quartey backed up in the ropes, feint him, jab, feint, throw a couple shots, slow shots, see how Quartey, if he's trying to fight back, step out, and then boom, catch him with a good hard shot. But I think by him just letting Quartey off the hook just a little bit is what hurt him, and then gave Quartey the confidence, and guess what? Caught him being lazy and dropped him. So if I was Quartey, I'd be like, hey, let's, pick up the pace a little bit. Let's put the pressure a little bit more, but let that hands go a little bit more. Force De La Hoya to fight with you and catch him. See, and that's another reason I would tell him, like, listen, look, how'd you drop him? Because you slipped, and guess what? Countered him. You slipped his stuff. You made him pay for his aggressiveness. Don't just let him off the hook because before, if you're watching, he would just lean back, no punches. But guess what? He was here, boom, caught him with that left hook. I'd be like, listen, when he gets reckless, or that, even when he boxing, when you see him throw punches, slip and counter. Make him pay. Don't just let him off the hook. Like Teddy Atlas says, you did the hard part, time to do the fun part. The hard part, as he says, making a miss. Now do the fun part. Punch. That's what I would tell him. Like, you're doing all the hard work. Now do the fun part. What boxing is, letting your hands go and hit. So that's what I would tell Quartey. If I was in his corner, if I was De La Hoya, I'd be like, all right, De La Hoya, listen, we love that you were aggressive in the beginning part and even trying to push it a little bit more, but you got to fight smart. You can't just go in there trying to exchange with him. Even if you're tired, or even if you're trying to rethink, gather yourself, implement that jab. Boom. Jab, high, low, high. Mix it up and down, high, head, body. Boom. Combinations, footwork. Like, you don't have to go in there, brawl, and try and knock him out. No, we just slowly break him down piece by piece. Jab, boom, moving your head, boom, shooting your shots. Keep working. Don't just try to go in reckless and then, try to jump in every shot. Like, why are you trying to jump in? Like, there's no reason. That's why you got in trouble, because you tried jumping in with that jab / uppercut. No, just mix it. Remember, he's trying to come in. Let him do all the jumping in. You just stay back. Boom, counter him. Boom, counter him, especially with that left hook. You see that? What have I been saying this whole time was De La Hoya's best punch? That left hook, and guess what? He dropped him with the left hook. I'm like, catch his jab, hook. Catch his jab, hook, jab, hook. Start implementing your left hook more, because it's your bread and butter, and that's what you're going to catch him off guard with and how to beat him. So that's what I would just tell both guys. But let's hop into round number 7 and see how that goes. All right, round number 7. Quartey's coming out aggressive. De La Hoya's back on that bounce, moving around using his feet. Referee saying time. What's going on? Oh, I think there's a lot of Vaseline on his head. I think that's what the referee. Yep, he's saying get rid of that Vaseline. So, good jab from Quartey to the body. So De La Hoya needs to shorten up that left hook to the body. I see he wants to go left hook to the body, but he needs to shorten up that left hook. Not be so wide with it. Good jabs from De La Hoya. That's all he needs to do is just keep working his jab. I like that Quartey's trying to slip. Yep, see? He's trying to slip and slide in his own shots now. That's why I think he needs to work more now. But once again, not just one punch. He needs to double, triple, 4 shots. De La Hoya's catching. Good jab. But he needs to catch and fire off those catches. Good try. He tried it with that right hand. Good body shot from Quartey. Good right hand from Quartey. De La Hoya, I like that he's using his footwork, stepping out of range, but he should be moving his head. Don't just depend on your footwork getting you out of range. He should use his head movement as well. Slip, weave, and then to help put him in position to throw that left hook off that. Quartey's just moving his head. Good jab from De La Hoya. Good jabs from De La Hoya. Quartey did a good jab and De La Hoya tried to counter right back. Quartey's changing up with his upper body movement. See, there you go. See how De La Hoya used his upper body movement. He was able to catch it. That's what I think. Just small little movements like that. Just throw him off. Don't sit there being stiff. It's easy to hit. When you're moving, it's harder to hit a moving target. Good jab. I liked how De La Hoya missed the right hand and then shot in with a jab. He saw it a little too late. But remember, whenever De La Hoya jabs, he should immediately look to the body because Quartey's lifting his hands up to block the head, but he leaves that body open. Good jabs from Quartey. Good jab from Quartey. De La Hoya trying to work his jab. Good. I like to see, once again, De La Hoya is catching. That was a good block body shot. But both guys are exchanging. Good uppercut in there from Quartey. I gave that 10-9 Quartey. I think Quartey did a good job working his jab and working his combos. I think De La Hoya, I don't know if he's getting tired or just a little frustrated, but I think he needs to go back to working his jab. But you see that, I hope you guys are seeing what I'm saying. He's catching a lot with his right hand. You saw when Quartey tried to jab to the body, he caught that body shot and pushed it out of the way. But he's not making Quartey pay. It's the same thing like I'm saying Quartey. He's doing all this defense, weaving, leaning back, but he's not making him pay. It's the same thing for De La Hoya. He's catching all night. You see him catching that jab, but he's not doing nothing off that. I think he should be catching, hooking off. And I keep implementing the hook only because I say that because De La Hoya's best punch is that left hook. If anyone knows De La Hoya, he has a beautiful left hook. Everyone compliments that left hook. That's what I'm saying. And you guys see it. That's how he dropped Quartey, was that left hook. That's why I say he should be throwing that left hook more. Now, for Quartey, he needs to be, yes, he's landing good jabs, but he should be working off that jab. Not just be happy that you got a good, strong jab that you're landing throughout the fight. Land that jab. Okay, I land that jab. Remember, but when you teach the basic, the jab, what do most coaches tell you? The jab is to help set you up with your power shots. And yes, okay, you got a good, strong jab. That's beautiful. That's one of the best things and tools you can have is a good, hard, strong jab. But then to complement that jab, you need to put combos off that. And that's where I feel Quartey, if he would implement that more, he can have more success and be pushing De La Hoya back a little bit more to get another knockdown. He already knocked him down once. Work that jab and combo to try to push back another one. So, go back to De La Hoya I would tell De La Hoya, listen, if I was in the corner, listen, De La Hoya, start aiming up to the forehead when you punch. The reason for that is because if you start noticing, watch Quartey, he shoots his hands up every time like this, and he leaves the body open. De La Hoya saw it, but it was a little too late because then he shot to the body. You immediately saw Quartey drop back down and then slide out. I'd be like, keep punching, even throw a 1-2 or throw a couple combos, make him force his hands to come here and then immediately rip to the body. That's what I would tell De La Hoya. Or even uppercuts, make it start throwing uppercuts where he leans forward like this, leaving. I know you guys can't see me, but that lean forward causes where that body can be exposed, and then De La Hoya rip that body and then go back. So also I would tell De La Hoya, move your head, don't stay right here like he's getting caught, just leaning in like this, like, you see what I'm saying? I'm like, you're staying low, just moving around like a little bit, because you saw he was moving around a little bit, and then Quartey shot that jab and he quickly just boom, blocked. I would just say, and like I said, it doesn't have to be move fast, just here, just stay with little movements that make it easier for you to catch, compared to here. We know where you're going to be. Here, it's unpredictable. Are you going to go left, right? You change it up. See, you start ducking down into weaves. You start pulling back. Like, you see, now you're adding more elements into the game. So that's what I would tell De La Hoya. Quartey, I would say, let your hands go more off that jab. Don't just try to jump in, step in with your shots and work more. So, and I would tell him, try to be a little bit more aggressive. Like, De La Hoya's backing up. Let's push him on the ropes now. Try to let your hands go and push him on the ropes. But let's hop in on round number 8 and see how that goes. Round number 8. De La Hoya back on the bounce. And ball his feet. I like that he's bouncing, moving around. You can see it's throwing Quartey off a little bit. Quartey trying to slide his jabs in. De La Hoya is keeps catching, but he should catch and shoot off that. Good defense from Canelo. Or, I don't know why I keep calling De La Hoya Canelo. Maybe, I don't know. I know Canelo signed with De La Hoya, but good, anyway. Good catch from De La Hoya, but Quartey slid in the right hand to the body and caught him. Quartey's catching De La Hoya's jabs now. Good jab from the body by Quartey. Good jab and snap De La Hoya's head back. Good. I like De La Hoya. De La Hoya landed the jab, but Quartey caught him with the right hand. See what happens when Quartey lets his hands go? He's able to catch De La Hoya. You can see now he's just pushing his left hand out there. I like the upper body movement from De La Hoya, but off that movement, he should be looking to either hit to the body or look to come up with his left hook to the head. Quartey's now mixing up different stuff. Back on his jab. De La Hoya is good on the upper body movement, but now I think he should be trying to punch off that. Yep, see how he snuck in that quick jab? Quartey wasn't expecting it. See? Good right hand from De La Hoya. See, that's why I think De La Hoya, I was saying a couple rounds, maybe last round, a couple rounds ago, why he should be going up, mixing up his upper body movement to catch him off guard. And punch off that upper body move. Good uppercut. I think De La Hoya has now found some success. He should keep going back to that. Good. He kept that hand out there to make sure Quartey stays at that distance. He wasn't in a good position, but he kept that left hand out there to keep Quartey back. Good right hand from Quartey. Good jab from Quartey. De La Hoya should go back to the upper body movement. Yep, like that, and then trying to punch off that. Body. Good jab. Good left hook. Don't get reckless. Don't see. De La Hoya shouldn't be getting close. He's the taller fighter. Even though he's hunching down a little bit, it looks like they're the same size. But he's the taller fighter by a couple inches, like 1 or 2 inches, and has the longer reach. He should just use that head movement and then boom, pop off a shot. I will give that round 10-9 De La Hoya. I thought that was a lot better from De La Hoya. See what I'm saying? That's what I was saying. Like, off that movement, how it made harder. It threw Quartey off, and guess what? Off that movement, boom, you saw De La Hoya sneaking in jabs, starting landing right hands. Like, he even did double jab right hand. Like, you see what I'm saying? That's what I was saying. That's why De La Hoya needed to go back to moving, making it hard, but then punching off that. I would tell De La Hoya that was beautiful. That's kind of what we want. The only thing I would say is you got the longer reach. There's no need to here and then get yourself in so close to Quartey where he can punch. And guess what? You saw him like stumbling, trying to hold because he's not in good position. It wasn't because he got hurt or anything. It's just he's not in good position. I would just be like, hey, just keep on. Boom. If you see that you can't reach, like while you're doing that and jab, you see, just take a small step in. Don't just try to come in and rush your way in. I'll just say, take a small step. So that's why I would tell De La Hoya, like, listen, that was a good round. Go back to that. Moving, keeping that movement. Boom, letting your hands go off that. Keep them off balance because when you're here, he gets confident. He wants to throw, keep punching. But the moment you're here, he's hesitant. He's not throwing as much. He's not punching as much. So keep it off balance. And then he's watching. He's falling. As we see in boxing, he's falling asleep. He's just false sense of security. And guess what? Boom. You catch him off guard. So that's why I would tell De La Hoya. Quartey, I would be like, listen, Quartey, when you see him on that movement, don't sit there. You get on your movement as well. Get on your movement and work his body. Work his body, because if you guys heard me in the beginning of the fight, a couple rounds in the beginning of the fight, I said De La Hoya was here. That's why Quartey should aim to the body, because he'll catch De La Hoya. But if De La Hoya ducks down, he could catch him with shots to the chin. I would tell him, like, yo, jab and then work the body, or even jab and then work the body right away, because you're going to catch something. He's going to either duck into the shot and you're going to catch him to the chin, or you're going to tag his body, one or the other. But you see De La Hoya keeps ducking down a lot, so that's why just tag the body, especially when he gets on here. He's already trying to stay low. Aim at the body. You're going to hit the body or the chin. You're going to hit something. So I would just say aim for that, aim for the body, and when you see him on the movement, you're back on your movement too. Just move with him and be ready to punch off that. So, but let's hop in round number 9 and see how that goes. Round number 9. Both guys stand in the middle of the ring. Good. See, De La Hoya's back on that movement. Yes, that's what De La Hoya needs to do. You see how he's landing more of the jabs. Quartey can't stand stiff. He needs to be moving his head as well. Good. De La Hoya working double jab. Quartey trying to let that right hand go. But while De La Hoya moves around like that, that's what I'm saying. Quartey should be aiming, jab into the body, but combos. Don't just look for one shot. Look for multiple combos. Quartey jumping in. That's where De La Hoya should take advantage. When you see Quartey, good jab. But when you see Quartey jump, you catch him with a right hand. Good uppercuts from De La Hoya. But like I was saying, he should, when Quartey jumps in with that left hook, he should catch him with that right hand, or even throw his own hook. Good jab from De La Hoya. Good jab from Quartey. De La Hoya back on his movement. See how he's able to catch and it throws Quartey off. Like Quartey was used to De La Hoya standing right there. Now by implementing that movement, it's throwing him off. See, and it makes it harder for Quartey to land that jab when De La Hoya is on that movement. Because now Quartey has to hit a moving target compared to just trying to get past that glove. Good change up from Quartey. Caught him with a little hook. Quartey trying to change it up. Just throw some jabs out there, some quick little jabs to see how De La Hoya is going to react. De La Hoya's catching that. I can see Quartey's looking for that right hand. I think De La Hoya sees it too. Good jabs from De La Hoya. Good right hand from Quartey. See, when De La Hoya can't stand right there, just stand in front of him. Keep that small little move. Good right hand, good left hook from De La Hoya. Good defense from De La Hoya. Good jab from Quartey. Good jab. Quartey's back on that jab. Landing it. De La Hoya shouldn't be. Good jab. Remember what I said. Quartey, when he's going to back up, lean back. De La Hoya should be aiming to that body. He should aim to that body. See, don't always aim to the head. Quartey has good defense. Aim to that body. Good right hand from Quartey. Good jab. De La Hoya, you saw him trying to look for that left hook. That one was a very, very good round. I like that round a lot. This one is a close round for me. I can see this one being an argument made for both guys. I'm gonna go 10-9 De La Hoya. I can see someone saying 10-9 Quartey. I would even make a case, to be honest with you, score at 10-10. I like that round. That was a good round from both guys. The only reason I edged it, for me personally, I edged it a little bit more for De La Hoya because he was implementing a little bit more in the beginning. And what I mean by that was he was having more success. Like the whole fight, it was close. It was getting close to the middle, especially towards the end of the fight. It was getting close. I think De La Hoya did enough in the beginning with his movement, jabs, landing right hands, landing those uppercuts, and catching Quartey, that it gave him the edge overall, because both guys landed great shots. Both guys landed hard shots. Both guys were implementing in spots you can see their game plan. But I just feel like De La Hoya edged it by doing a little bit more success in the beginning. So when it got towards the middle and end of the round, where it became close, where it's like one of those toss-up, I think that was enough money in the bank in the beginning, how he had his success, to say I think he edged that round just a little bit more. Because, you know, when you're scoring a fight, you got to score the whole round. Yes, a fighter may have some success late, but it's like, how did they look in the rest of the fight, or the round? Did they lose that whole round and then just win that last 10 seconds? Like, sometimes that's where I don't like going around for a fighter, is because yeah, you lost 2 minutes and 50 seconds, but then you had a good 10 seconds. It's like, I don't feel like that's right. Or, you know, it depends. If both guys weren't doing that and you won the last 10 seconds, then yeah, I'll be like, okay, then you can win. But if a guy's outworking you and then just steals the last 10 seconds, I don't. That's just me personally. But I think, like I said, I can see people saying, nah, that was a Quartey round. You know, he landed good shots. He was finishing strong. True, it was. I could see someone saying 10-10. Both guys did great landing shots and everything. But to me, I think De La Hoya just did enough to edge him that round. So, like I said, I think it was great. I would tell De La Hoya, if I was in his corner, listen, De La Hoya, you did great. You won a lot of. You spent the beginning. You clearly won the beginning part of the round because you were back on your movement. Here, boom. You were working combos. You were catching them off guard. But the moment you started staying still, De La Hoya, and started trying to punch with him and trade with him, that's when things got close and he started flurrying back and everything. I would tell De La Hoya, listen, you're here. Keep your head moving. If you feel tired or you need a break, step out of range where Quartey can't jump in and catch you. You can see him advancing. And I would just tell him, like, hey, do what you were doing in the beginning of the fight. This is your jab. It doesn't have to land every time. This could be your range fighting. Just help. Okay, if I fully extend, that's how far he is. I got the long arms. He can't come. I'm going to make sure he steps here. He gets a little bit closer, I'm going to step back. You see what I'm saying? Catch your breath. Catch whatever. You need a break. You don't want to fight the whole round. Just do this. And then the moment you're ready to, all right, then we get back in. Boom, we shooting here. Boom, boom. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, then, you know, you get back in your groove and get back in the fight of things. If I was in Quartey's corner, I would tell him, like, listen, don't just sit back and just wait for De La Hoya to stop and then to help you out and then you jump on him. No, force him to stop. He's here moving. Attack that body. Don't just throw one jab to the body. Throw combos. Throw a couple to his head. Make him duck down and then rip body shots on him. Rip body shots. Rip uppercuts. Lift him up. Don't just depend on De La Hoya to help you go from here to here and then you start your offense. I would tell him, like, what if he doesn't stop? Or what if it's a close round? Let's force the action. And then when I say force the action, I'm not saying go reckless, guys. When I say force the action, it's like he just starts implementing his game plan. Start, boom, touch him, make him go down, then boom, set him up, set traps for him to catch him off guard. And then you could start, okay, he wants to fight. Then you jump on him and start letting your hands go and you get in the exchanges that you want with him. But it's a good fight. I'm enjoying this fight a lot. Let's hop in round number 10 and see how that goes. Round number 10. Both guys are standing in the middle of the ring. De La Hoya back on his movement a little bit. Nope, he's back to stiff, staying straight up tall. Good counter jab from De La Hoya. He caught Quartey trying to be reckless with that right hand, just jumping in. See, that's what De La Hoya should be doing. Anytime he jumps in, Quartey with that hook, the right hand, jab, counter him right away. Make him rethink about jumping in like that. Good working the jab from De La Hoya. Quartey back on his jab. Good jab from De La Hoya. But he should work off that jab. He's landing that jab. Don't jump in. Remember, if he's going to throw that hook to the head, well, remember what I said. He should immediately attack the body because Quartey's going to lean back. That body's exposed. Good jab from Quartey. Good jab from Quartey. And also De La Hoya was able to land his jab. Good right hand from Quartey. Good defense. De La Hoya's headhunting too much. Should be attacking that body. Good jab from De La Hoya. Good defense from Quartey. Good jab from Quartey. Good. Quartey went jab head and then jab to the body. Both guys are really trying to work that jab overtime. De La Hoya can't get reckless just running in like that. Quartey is just popping small little jabs out there. Good defense. Nice little uppercut from Quartey on the inside. Good defense from Quartey. He was working his jab and De La Hoya tried to sneak in a little hook in there. De La Hoya is too much on the focusing on the head. He should be trying to attack the body. So I gave that 10-9 for Quartey. I thought De La Hoya was trying to headhunt too much and was just focusing on trying to flurry, and Quartey was using his defense and able to weave out and able to land more jabs and a couple right hands in there to help him win that round. De La Hoya, like I keep saying, De La Hoya shouldn't be trying to headhunt. Like, we know Quartey's going to lean back. Now Quartey's implementing weaves in there, so he should be forcing Quartey, like, throw a couple shots, especially when Quartey leans back, throw one shot, two shots, make him do that lean back, immediately rip to the body, especially when they're in close. Don't just try to headhunt because Quartey's doing good weaves, good quick weaves. Just uppercuts to the stomach too. He doesn't have to be uppercuts to the head. Hooks to the body. If you don't feel comfortable on hooks to the body, uppercuts to the body. Lift him up, make him tighten up, keep those hands here, and then he can pop up, and then that's when you let your hands go. Quartey, I keep saying it, like, I like the jab that he's doing, but I wish he would throw more punches off that. You can see now Quartey's trying to incorporate more the right hand. He's not throwing it as much, but I can see little movements like that, how he's jabbing, and you can see him like he's trying to lean in like this and shoot that right hand. I can see he wants to implement it more, but I think he should be working that jab more, and then like head, body, and then let that right hand go. Even if it doesn't land, just understand, like, okay, did De La Hoya step back? Is De La Hoya ducking? Just understand, like, okay, and now I can make the adjustments. Okay, if he ducks, I'm gonna shoot it down. Instead of shooting straight, I'll shoot it down to catch him, or, you know, I'll touch him body and then come up with that right hand, or I'll just throw that 1-2 to the body. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I think he should be doing more of that. But I thought that was a Quartey round. This is what I would just be telling both guys. Quartey, I'm just like, hey, let your right hand go more, but use that jab to set up that right hand. And especially when De La Hoya starts going crazy trying to headhunt and you're weaving, come back with, it doesn't even have to be combos. You just come up with a quick boom, left hook, back in your weaves, boom, come back with a quick right hand, catch De La Hoya off guard, catch him off balance, and then make De La Hoya hesitant, not wanting to punch. And guess what? We're back being aggressive, throwing more punches, landing more of the jabs. See what I'm saying? De La Hoya, I just tell him, like, listen, man, stop trying to aim for the head. Rip that body. Attack the body. Attack the body. Throw a couple shots up head. A couple shots to the head. Make him weave or lean back, and then boom, rip that body and back on the jab, back on the jab. And once again, you heard me this whole fight. You catch, fire right back. Fire right back. Hook. So let's hop in round number 11. Oh, wow, we're getting close to the end. And see how it goes. Round number 11. Quartey being the aggressor. Trying to implement his jab. De La Hoya backing up. Good. De La Hoya trying to flurry, but good defense from Quartey. De La Hoya should be more precise with his shots. Not just flurry to flurry. See where the openings are. Like Quartey's body was open. Good. Quartey was using his upper body movement to help set up that jab to the body. De La Hoya is back to standing stiff. And Quartey's using his upper body movements trying to catch him off guard. De La Hoya trying to throw a couple jabs. De La Hoya is just trying to load up on his shots. Quartey should have countered though in between. He made De La Hoya miss. Should have countered. Quartey coming forward. De La Hoya caught him with a good jab. Both guys are trying to jab at the same time. De La Hoya back on that bounce. De La Hoya trying to work the jab. Quartey working his jab too. He's working a little bit more now. But he should be doubling it, tripling it, back to back to back, not pausing like jab. See, then he pause, and then oh, good change up. He caught De La Hoya with a hook. De La Hoya is catching. He caught that jab, but guess what? He didn't punch off that. Good jab, good left hook. De La Hoya caught Quartey. Good, quick little check, little hook. Good jab from Quartey. Uh-oh. What's going on? Small technical difficulty. De La Hoya trying to flurry in there. Quartey using his defense. Quartey should be punching off that. He's making De La Hoya miss, but he's not making him pay off that. Good jab to the body. Quartey using his upper body movement. Good jab. De La Hoya caught him off guard. So I gave that 10-9 Quartey. De La Hoya is trying to flurry, trying to now, it seems like in spots, trying to steal the round by trying to flurry. But Quartey is doing good defense with holding it up, blocking, and even stepping out of range. But the only thing I would just want Quartey to do is counter off that, because if he was to do that, it would be more eye-catching. Yeah, because he's making De La Hoya misses, and you know, it's eye-catching, like, oh wow, De La Hoya swinging and missing. But it would show he would win the round a lot bigger if he would counter, because it's like, oh yeah, he can't hit me, but boom, look, I can hit him. See what I'm saying? And then that's the sweet science, is hit but not get hit. He's doing the not getting hit part, but he's not countering off that, which is the hit part. So he should be implementing that a little bit more. The, you know, defense, even like I said, it doesn't have to be a flurry. It can be, you know, off that, boom, just a right hand, or he likes his jab, boom, pop a quick hard jab off that, or a hook or something. Just implement more of that. De La Hoya needs to stop trying to, like, now he's just flurrying just to throw shots. He's not picking his shots. Like, he threw a couple flurry, and once again, see Quartey's hands, go back and watch the round, his hands jumped up, but he just flurried. He didn't realize the body was open and shoot. Like, he's got to realize these situations. You see what I'm saying? It's like, I think De La Hoya needs to go back and win this round, or win, not go back, but win this 12th round big, because it's like, now it's the fight, it's like getting close. It's, you know, he needs to win this, because like I said, it's a close round or close fight, but it's like he's not helping himself by standing tall, by catching a lot of Quartey's jabs and not doing that. There's a lot of things that De La Hoya can be doing to help make this fight harder for Quartey, make it easier for himself, because by him just catching and, like I said, letting Quartey off the hook, Quartey's just going to keep working that jab. That's his best weapon, and it's nothing going to stop him. But when you take a fighter's best weapon away, they either adapt and try to do something new, or they fold. And that's what De La Hoya should do, is by catching that jab, start hooking, start jabbing. He should have been doing this way a long time ago. It's just take that away and see how does Quartey adapt, because you see Quartey, like he's winning a lot of the rounds is mostly because of his jab. Yeah, he lands a right hand, a hook, combo here and there, but mostly if you're watching, it's because boom, he's landing that hard jab. Wow, boom, he just keeps working up and down, up and down. Take that weapon away, and does Quartey adjust, or does he fold and not punch? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I think these are just, it's just me giving you my thoughts, like what De La Hoya and Quartey should be doing throughout this whole fight to make it easier for themselves as the fight continues, or during this situation, like what could they have done to make the fight swing better in their way. But let's hop in this 12th and final round and see how it goes. 12th and final round. See, De La Hoya is trying to become the aggressor now. Quartey, Quartey got a little reckless. Good left hook from De La Hoya. Quartey stood a little too tall and then bring that right hand back, and De La Hoya caught him. Dropped him with a left hook. Good left hook inside from Quartey, catching De La Hoya being reckless. Good exchange. Quartey should keep that chin down and shouldn't just be swinging wildly. He should be using his defense. Good fighting back though. De La Hoya shouldn't be just trying to rush in either. He should be trying to punch off that, use his defense and weave. Quartey should be, like I said, not just throwing shots just to throw them. He should have his hands up, weave, and counter. See, like that. He did one little weave, but now he's just taking unnecessary shots. See, like that, weave, and then he should counter right off that. Good defense, good having the hands up. But De La Hoya shouldn't just stay there. He should also use his jab, use his reach, keep him at bay, not keeping himself close and smothering where he can get hit with shots. Back in the middle of the ring. Quartey swinging over the right hand. Good uppercut inside from Quartey. De La Hoya backing up a little bit. Yeah, De La Hoya shouldn't try to throw that sloppy uppercut, because that's how he got dropped. With that, Quartey caught him with a left hook. So, Quartey coming on with the jab. De La Hoya just moving. I think De La Hoya might have burned himself out just a little bit. Quartey trying to come back, jabbing. De La Hoya catching good with that right hand, but he needs to punch off that. Even if it's just a quick little jab, it doesn't have to be hard, just something, boom. Keep him off balance. Like, keep Quartey backing up. Don't let him get close. Quartey coming in strong, but De La Hoya blocked that left hook right here. Good jab to the body by Quartey. Good. I liked how De La Hoya blocked, but he pushed that left hand out there to create some space, not let Quartey get close to him. Good double jab from Quartey, but De La Hoya stepping out of range. Good catch from De La Hoya, but doesn't punch off that. See De La Hoya bouncing. They hear that 10 seconds. So I gave that a 10-8 for De La Hoya. He needed a big round. I said that he needed a big round to help him out, but was it enough to help him win the fight? We're going to listen to the judges' scorecards. I'm going to tally up my scorecards after we hear the judges' scorecard. I'll tell you what I thought. But before I go into that, De La Hoya landed a good left hook. Quartey swung wildly, had his chin up, and guess what? De La Hoya timed it with that left hook. And what was I saying this whole fight? What De La Hoya should have been doing? What punch he should have been implementing? The left hook. Why? Because it's De La Hoya. When De La Hoya is at his best, that left hook is his money punch. That's his bread and butter, is that left hook. And you see he dropped Quartey twice. Why? Because of that left hook. That's why I kept saying You heard me, catch, left hook, catch, left hook. That's why I kept going back to left hook, is because it's his best punch. It's his, side note, you may not know this, but De La Hoya is left-handed. And he fights in a right-handed stance, so his jab and hook, his left hand is his best punch. And that's why his left hook is so hard, because he's left-handed. So, it was good. I think De La Hoya could have capitalized more if he would have kept his distance. He was getting an exchange with Quartey. He was landing good shots, but he was smothering himself. He kept getting in. If he would have just let his hands go and kept him, kept working, like, it doesn't even have to be hard jabs, just quick jab, see how Quartey was going to do, and then shoot his shots. I think he would have done better rather than trying to get in some exchange, getting in that mid-range, and sometimes he got a little too close. I think if he would have done, like, kept the distance and also went to the body more, he would have been able to do a lot better and hurt Quartey more and not have Quartey be able to hit him back. You see what I'm saying? Quartey, he hurt himself, like I said, by standing tall, and got a little lazy with his left hook right hand, because he went here, and guess what? De La Hoya caught him, boom, dropped him. Another thing I didn't, what hurt Quartey was he was leaning on the ropes and just throwing punches. He should have just been here, staying tight, bro. Weave, counter off that, boom. Because you saw the referee, he was real close right there. He was ready to stop. He was in close, but, give credit to Quartey. He fought back. He did what he had to do, but I think he would have done better, because De La Hoya just was trying to knock him out at that point. So he should have just tightened up, block, counter. And he only, I think, did it twice. He weaved, but he should have just weaved, counter, block, counter. Like, that would have helped out Quartey. He tried, De La Hoya burnt himself out a little bit. He tried to pick it up, but you see, like, he really didn't push on the gas too much. But I think that's what hurt Quartey also, is like, maybe if he did that, cower off guard, and try to be the aggressor, he could have changed that into a 10-9 round. But let's tally up the scorecards. Let's hear what these judges have to say, and we'll see how we score the fight and how it goes.
115 to 114. He scores it for Quartey. John Keane scores the bout. 116 to 113. He has it for De La Hoya. Ken Marita scores the bout. 116 to 112 for the winner by split decision. And still the undefeated WBC welterweight.
I had it on my scorecard. I had it 114, 113, Ike Quartey. It was a close fight. I disagree with the judges, both judges that gave it to De La Hoya. And I disagree with them because of how wide it was. Like, one had 4 rounds for De La Hoya. The other one had 3 rounds for De La Hoya's. I don't think it was that type of fight. I thought it was a close fight. Like, see, on my scorecard, I had the first, and I told you guys, the first and the 9th round to me were the 2 closest rounds. So what I did was I went back and put on my scorecard. If you gave the first and the 9th round to Quartey, you would have 115, 111 Quartey. I had Quartey winning the first, and I had the 9th De La Hoya. All right, if you flip it and give De La Hoya both rounds, you have 114, 113 De La Hoya winning the fight. So whoever you have winning the fight, they're winning by a point on my scorecard. The judges have it, like I said, 116, 112, that's 4. 116, 113, that's 3. Like, I don't see in the fight how you have it that, like, this was a close fight. Like, one judge, 115, 114, had that fight a point. Like, I don't see, and I think this is what, like, when the more I do controversial fights, guys, like, I can, hold on, like, before I go, I can see a case being made for De La Hoya. Like I said, the first, in my opinion, the first and the 9th round were close rounds, depending on how you scored it. Like, I can see, okay, someone says I have De La Hoya winning 115, 114, 114, 113, whatever. Okay, it's a point. It's a close fight. De La Hoya knocked Quartey down twice. Quartey knocked De La Hoya down. It's a close fight. They were back and forth, going, okay, I can understand it. But I think when I keep watching these fights and watching how close they are, and then you hear some scorecards like 118, 110, 116, 112, and you're like, what kind of fight were you watching? This was a close fight that could have been either guy could have won. It's like, this is what, to me, like, ruins like boxing, of course, but it's like what leaves an impression to people's mind, robbery. Like to me, okay, if we just said, let's just say De La Hoya won, let's just say split decision, but he won by a point. I don't think people would scream robbery because it's like, hey, it was a close fight. Yeah, you can be making a case like that. But when you hear like a wide margin, like for example, like Canelo, Triple G, 118, 110, you're like, what was one judge watching? Then that jumps into people's mind, robbery, robbery, robbery. And it's like, it kind of discredits a lot of these fighters and a lot of these fights that are great fights, but then they're tampered with the scorecard. Like they're more, people remember more of the fight because of the scorecard than the actual greatness of that fight. Like this was a hell of a fight. I loved it. Like you guys saw, like this is one of my favorite fights because of the action, the technique, the, you see how I kept breaking everything down, the like if you're watching like De La Hoya's footwork, how you just stepping just out of range, how Quartey is working the jab, how they were fighting, like it was a lot of good things in this fight, a lot of bad, a lot of good, but it's like you take away a lot of this greatness in this fight is like, and people don't remember because of the, oh, robbery, the first thing that pops in my head, oh, what a robbery, I remember that robbery, instead of like, yo, that was a close fight that could have been gone either way. Like even if you felt, like I said, even if you felt De La Hoya won, if you say 1 point, Quartey won by 1 point, and then it's like, well, you know, it was a great fight. You know, I mean, personally, I felt Quartey won the fight by a point or won a close fight, or De La Hoya, see what I'm saying? It's like, you know, then people aren't screaming robbery, robbery, robbery right off the bat. But when you have these absurd scorecards, it's just like it ruins it and ruins the legacy of one of the fighters. And then not only the legacy, it ruins the fight, because for generations it's like no one wants to talk about it because the first thing that's going to come up, robbery. Yeah, I remember that robbery. So it's like the more I break down these controversial fights, yeah, of course I give you my thoughts and everything, what I'm seeing from a professional boxer's perspective and everything, but when I just hear like cards like that, like to me it's like it's horrible. It just ruins it, and it's just like it tarnishes, like I said, like the boxing, the legacy of the fighters, the legacy of the sport and everything. And it's like, because to me this is a great fight. I love this fight. It's one, like I said, one of my favorites. And it's like, I don't think that's why I got excited when people threw this up and I saw that majority of, not majority, but this fight won by a close decision. I was like, yes, I get to do one of my favorite fights that I actually like. But like I said, it kind of ruins everything. It's like when you hear these scorecards, it's like people just watch the fight, it's like, oh, don't watch the scorecards. You don't want to hear the score. You just want to see the fight. It's like kind of ruins everything. At least this is me. This is just me giving my thoughts on this. But you know, I was showing or explaining, you know, what both guys could have done. Also, if you guys saw Wednesday, I dropped a video explaining what Manny Pacquiao and Marquez did right and wrong and how they could have changed it. Let me know, guys, in the comments below. Let me know if you want me to do the same thing for this. Do you want me to explain what both guys were doing wrong and how they could have done something better to make the fight swing more in their favor? Let me know, guys, because I want you guys to understand, like, the reason I did that was because I think, you know, of course I have some boxers that follow me, some people that box or box a little bit or actually compete, pros, amateurs and all that. They know what I'm talking about. But I feel like, you know, for you guys that aren't, like, you know, you just watch the sport for fun or intrigued into it, like, I feel like sometimes when I talk about certain things, you may not understand the full depth or understand what I'm talking about. So I did that to help explain, like, and to show you a visual so you can see what I'm talking about, as far as like, oh, step this way or do this and then that. Let me know if you wanted the same thing that I did for Pacquiao and Marquez. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do the same thing for De La Hoya, Quartey. You see what I'm saying, like how I was saying catch and shoot, how to not to lean back, or, you know, stuff like that. Let me know in the comments below. But like I said, also make sure you guys are following me on Instagram, because like I said, I'm gonna shoot that story and I'm gonna throw up tons of fights, and whoever gets the most view or gets the most, you know, yeses to me breaking down that fight, that's the next fight I'm gonna do. So, but as always, guys, I enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. This is El Castigador. I'm checking out. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll see you guys next time.